Hey friends, this is T again with another video, and today we're going to be discussing why women don't want to get married in 2024. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, our marriage rates are dropping low, and I have my beliefs on why that is. Now, the common argument is women want to be more independent now. They are very choosy now. They want to be selfish. They don't want to have any children at this time in their lives. You know, on and on to give you these reasons. But I think it might be something different that's added on to that already long list of reasons why women all of a sudden now don't want to have husbands, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get into this. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know whenever we come out with new videos, okay? All right, let's get started.
Why Chinese women don't want to get married these days. First, Chinese women have much more socioeconomic power and much more choices than before. Second, the marriage law doesn't protect women enough, especially protecting working moms who are pregnant. Third, the Chinese in-laws love to participate heavily in the family and to assert their ultimate dominance for no reason. Fourth, in the traditional Chinese marriage is all about women sacrificing her entire life for the family. Young Chinese girls simply don't want to do that anymore. Lastly, the Chinese society is much more open and tolerant of women who don't want to get married.
You guys have been together for a while now, no?
Yeah, we're gonna make 15 years together this year.
Damn. And you guys don't want to get married?
For what? Plus, I don't know if I want to stay with someone for the rest of my life. Like, it's just too much commitment. Like, I don't know.
Don't you guys have like 4 kids together already?
No, I just think marriage is pointless. Like, it's just paper. Like, who cares? It's just, what difference does it make, honestly? Plus, being married is so expensive. Like, having a wedding, what if we get divorced? Like, that's a lot of money.
But aren't kids a lot of money too, though?
It's literally just paper. Like, I don't know why people make it such a big deal. It's literally just paper. Yeah, and he tells me all the time, like, he doesn't want to get married. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, I'm chilling. He's chilling. Like, who cares? You know, we're already living together. We're fine. We're perfect. We're happy. Like, it doesn't matter. Marriage is dumb.
Guys, if we start dating...
And I don't believe in marriage anymore. What the fuck you telling me?
Though. If I want
Alright,
to
so
get married,
it's right now.
If you like me, and we dating for 2-3 years, I want to get married, you're not going to marry me?
And I said I don't want to be married. Everybody's different.
Guys,
I'm already
if
married.
I want to get married and have a family with you, we're getting married. Why do you think that's your say?
Because it's me.
No, it's not.
Then we're not getting married. It's not going to be me and you.
Oh my God, bro. We're going to have to W. I'm the promotion. You're going to have to W for everybody. Sorry, guys.
Alright, and so eventually that will happen. Because I said I don't want to get
That's
married.
not crazy mindset. That's not crazy to you.
Oh, is it not crazy?
If I'm doing everything I have to do, but I value marriage and I want to get married,
You say you're doing everything. I gotta see. You say it's
But
one thing just like the nigga
I just
before
gave
his car.
you a hypothetical, bro.
And the same nigga gave me a false dream too.
The
So
same
what?
nigga gave you a false dream.
Just like you said, oh, I'm
Cut
married,
it.
I'm gonna do
Cut
everything
it,
for
cut it
you.
out,
No,
cut it out,
no,
cut it out,
you don't know
cut it
what
out.
gonna happen
Cut it
eventually.
out.
Don't tell me cut it out. I said I don't want to get married.
Now, if you just listen to these women talk, they talking about independence. They, you know, don't want to marry no bum, no dusties and things of that sort. But the truth of the matter is, women can't claim those assets like they really want to anymore, okay? Now look at the housing situation right now. A lot of people cannot afford a house, whether you're a man or a woman. A large majority of people can't. And usually in divorce, women are able to get their hands on the house, if not half, the whole thing. Usually the man end up vacating the house, living in some trailer park or some crappy apartment because the woman has taken over the house. Usually women get the children and the house and many of the assets. And that's the reason why women are talking about, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to get married anymore, okay? It's very interesting. Before, they always wanted to get married. When there's a prosperous society, women want to get married by the droves. But because everybody's struggling now, women are always saying, well, you know what? I don't know if I want to get married now. I like my independence and all this kind of sort. And then they convert to trying to get with NBA players, football players, and popping out children. You know, they want to get that child support so they can live some type of lifestyle on TikTok or on Instagram or something like that. But I'm telling you right now, man, if things were going different, if people was buying houses, women would be getting married by the groves. Women want assets. They talk about love, they talk about faithfulness, they don't want no prenups, they just want to be in love and have children, have a family. But now the thing, everybody is struggling. Now it's like, you know, I think I want my independence now. I really value my time alone, and all I want to do is just work and be by myself, to think and find myself. It's crazy now. All of a sudden, love don't have anything to do with anything anymore, right? Because that's the excuse they usually use on you when you want a prenup. You don't love me, you don't trust me. The truth of the matter is, yes, most men with means do not trust women to be loyal, to be faithful, and not go after half of everything he owns. So when women start talking about, I don't want to be married, I want to be by myself, that's one of the reasons why. Because right now, you can't take a house that nobody can own. We are becoming a renting society at this moment, right? So women can't just turn around and take your house anymore because now you rent. So all the men have to do is just pick up and leave. And then all the apartment and all these expenses will be on her.
Would you be willing to sign a prenup when you get married? Okay, this might sound crazy, but like, I don't want to be married legally. I just want a wedding, like the big wedding.
No, that's smart as hell.
Like,
No, that sounds crazy.
I don't, if that makes sense, like,
Travis,
you know,
feel you.
I just want to like have the experience, like the wedding, the big wedding, you know. But I don't want to sign no papers saying that we married because, for one, I don't want to go through the divorce process. Two, I'm not signing no prenup, and if like my money is my money and your money is your money, so like it shouldn't be, you know. I don't want to have it. I don't want like the courts to be involved, if that makes sense.
It feels as though marriages have always been the responsibility of women to sustain.
100%.
When we think about all the things that marriage is supposed to provide us, security, safety, a sense of just a sense of identity, you would think that as marriage is posed as something that's around partnership, the reality is for a lot of women, both in their personal experience, but also just socially and the conversations that we have, it feels like women have to do extra to keep this marriage sustaining. Yeah. Women have to be obviously the caretakers. They have to be the nucleus of the family. They need to hold it down when things are happening, and men, you know, go off to conquer the land and all of these kind of things. And it's tiring, especially when it feels as though women are now affording themselves security, affording themselves the side of the bargain that traditionally men were supposed to provide. And if there is no negotiation, because marriage is supposed to be about negotiation, constant negotiation, if there is no negotiation, then it really feels as though marriage is a loss to women. And I think of some of the most recent statistics and thinking about like male loneliness and how well they do in marriage. But then when you look at the statistics for women in marriage, a lot of women in long-term relationships, statistically speaking, are actually less happy. They're unhappy. Good. They are more likely to suffer from, you know, mental health issues. They are more likely to feel overwhelmed. They are more likely to feel frustrated.
Now, I completely disagree in some aspects of this woman's argument that it's all about the woman's responsibility when they get married, since women are the ones that are always pushing to get married. It's never the men, it's always the women. But now that women have become baby mamas and seeing all these baby mamas on TikTok, on yachts, going on all these lavish vacations with children without the responsibility of being wives, this is something they desire as well. And also they don't want to do the real marriage thing. They just want to have the ceremonies because they are making money and they don't want to share their money with the man. So it is very, very funny. I find this hilarious now that women always argue the only reason why they want to get married is because of love. It's because of commitment. It's because of family. Now you're starting to see the real reason why women want to get married. They want assets. They want to keep their own stuff. They don't want the responsibility. They just want to keep on doing what they want to do. It's called selfishness. It's all about them now. So they see all these women with basketball players, rappers, football players, just having babies without the marriage. So all the benefits will go to them while they have enough money to have somebody else take care of their children. If it's not the grandma, it's probably somebody that they hire, but they just want to live that lavish lifestyle, and they finding out they can do that by hooking up with men and having their children, and they don't have the responsibility of being mothers, of being caretakers, of being wives. They just want the benefits out of marriage. And that's the reason, that's the true reason why women either want to get married, and now that they don't want to get married, because they do not want the responsibility. They are tired of that. They are tired of taking care of men. They're tired of taking care of children. All they want to do is look after their own selves, especially now that they're making money. It is a trip.
The reason why women are choosing to stay single and choosing to not get married is because they realize that men naturally are not good people. And they realize that society would never hold them accountable for anything that they do. It doesn't matter what it is. They just say, well, he's a man. You know how men are. But if women did the same thing, you're called all types of names. See, naturally, women are taught to be so nice and understanding and, give these men grace and nurture these men back to health and all of this nonsense. But what do women get in return? They get pain, chaos, stress, anxiety, depression. Broken homes, disease. The list goes on. The list goes on. So now women are realizing, like, if I gotta go through all that just to stay with a man or to get a man, I don't need it. See, it's okay for a man to have sex and have all these kids by multiple women, but when a woman do the same thing, oh, you gotta pick better, you just a hoe. I mean, the list goes on. If a man don't have a high-paying job, and a woman don't want to deal with that man, oh, she's a gold digger. Or at least he working, at least he's trying. It's men that don't have jobs. But if a woman don't want to work, she's lazy. She wants to live off somebody. It don't make sense. And that's why these women are choosing to buy their own houses, cars, make their own money. There's women that realize they can just use these men for money or sex. And these men are getting angry and they're getting worse because society is not telling them that they are a fuck up. That they are the reason why women are choosing to be on their own. Women are choosing to deal with men accordingly. And men cannot stand it. So what men do, they try to instill fear in women, saying, oh, you're going to die alone. When in reality, it's going to be the men, and it is the men dying alone. Look it up. Men can physically get sick because they're not dealing with women, because they're lonely. Men are lonely in them nursing homes. Don't nobody visit them because all the fuckery that they cause in their early years. But if you put women in a nursing home, there's family that checks on her, that loves her. It's not the same for a man. And that's why these men, they're starting to realize at the age of 50 plus, I'm lonely. I need to settle. It's too late. But if you talk to a woman that's the same age, they're thriving. They be looking younger than the men. Clear skin. Traveling around the world, making way more money than them. And these men are getting angry because they're realizing that these women really don't need them anymore. They may want them, but need, that's not happening. So, like I said, these women, they're choosing. It's a choice. Women can get married. Women can get in relationships. They're women. They're women. But they're choosing not to because they realize men, they're just not good people. They're just not. So that's why women are choosing to stay single, choosing to not have children, choosing to make their own money, choosing to use these men for money, or just using them for sex. They realize that they really have a choice.
Question I get asked a lot is, why don't you want to get married? Or why are you so against marriage? There's two questions there. One, I decided a long time ago that I am not going to wait and put my life on hold whilst I find a partner, whilst I wait for someone to come and love me. I'm not going to do that. I am going to focus on the love that I have for myself and continue to build that for the rest of my life. The relationship with myself is the most important relationship I will ever have and you will ever have. So I decided to not base my whole identity and my whole purpose as a woman around babies and marriage. It's not something that I want to base my whole value around. Women are sold the idea by the patriarchy that a woman's value is purely based on whether she has children and whether a man wants to marry her or whether she is going to get married. So by me just removing all of that, it just takes so much pressure off me. It really, truly does. And then now with so many studies coming out, proven statistically that single, unmarried, child-free women are the happiest subgroup of people. It literally has the patriarchy on its knees by proving this. Now, another question is like, well, what about a partner? You want to be single forever? If I was single forever and this was my life the way it is, the life that I've built is more than enough for me. It is wonderful. You guys, like, I've spent years building a life where I get to travel when I want, I get to do what I want with whoever I want, and I love my life. So the life that I've built by myself is enough for me. It always will be. And if someone came along and it added to that in a wonderful soul love way, who knows? But I am not going to base my whole identity, purpose and value around being married and whether a man loves me, because I love myself enough. There's no void there for anyone to complete.
Now, did you see that? She's blaming all men. We all know that there's only a small amount of men that's screwing all these women over, because 80% of men are being ignored by most of these women. They're blaming the small amount of men that did not put a ring on it. So they get to a point when they hit the wall, they're pissed, seriously pissed at men. And basically they go on TikTok and try to convince other women, you don't need to get married, it's just a piece of paper. These men aren't worth your time. Think about yourself, only yourself. Who cares? See, this young lady right here, she's blonde, she's beautiful now. And she said, but I don't need anybody. I built a life for myself, I can do whatever I want to. But wait till them wrinkles start to set in. Wait till she start getting old and hit that wall. Trust me, it will change. She's going to want a man in her life. I don't care how many times you travel. I don't care how many times or whatever you buy or spend money on or whatever the situation is. It means nothing if you buy yourself. And the most social people on the planet are women. They do not want to be alone. And most of their friends are getting married. Even when they go on TikTok talking about, I don't need to be married, I don't need to be with anybody. But around them are other women who are still getting married. And you know, women, they get jealous over this. They get jealous. Then they can be saying to themselves, why don't I have a man? Why don't I have children? It's easy to say this stuff when you're beautiful and you're young. I don't need no man. I built a life for myself. Men ain't S. I'm gonna do whatever I want to. I'm gonna think about me because I love myself. But then when all of a sudden they start to become unattractive and men don't want them like they used to, then all of a sudden then they're going to be talking about, I'm depressed. They're going to be crying on TikTok like you see so many women do. Talking about, I need a man. Where are all the good men at? Because women take the time to waste all their youth talking about they don't need no man and putting all their energies into their careers and traveling and all these things, getting the bag. But in the end, women are biologically want to be a wife or want to be with children. They want these things. And a lot of the times, a lot of these women wait too long to have these things. And then they blame men for it. When she was young, she could have just found herself a man. You know what I'm saying? And then she would have been in love, stop playing the field, start going out there doing whatever you want, loving yourself. But she could have just got married, had children, and she would not be on TikTok talking about, I don't need no man. because women that are married, they're not on TikTok talking about I don't need no man, because they got men. They were smart. They either went to college or they met their man through friends or whatever the situation is. They got married early. Now, there's no guarantee that you're gonna stay married. I'm just gonna say that right now. But at least you try, and at least you pick the perfect time to do it. Then later on, maybe if you want to go travel or make money or whatever, you can do that. You can do this while you're married. She can travel with her man if he makes a significant amount of money. She can have kids and they can be grown, and then she can go ahead and retire. All these things these women can do. But yet they want to run the field. They want to think about themselves while they're young and pretty and just play around and have no type of responsibility, because they always come down to that. They don't want the responsibility. They just want the benefits. And that's feminism for you. Why should you get married? Why should you pick up your man's clothes? Why should you cook, clean, and do all these things when you can just run the streets? You can just run around and have no type of responsibilities whatsoever. But like I said, when they hit that wall, everything changes.
A lot of women are not ready to get married. They are just looking for help. They are hungry, looking for a man that is going to feed them. Never you marry a woman that is not independent, because she's going to be a liability and a burden. My name is Okoro Blessing Nkiruka, and I'm popularly known as Blessing CEO, your #1 relationship therapist in Africa. There is this trending thing. Every woman is saying, I want to get married, I want to get married, I want to get married. Yet they don't want to stay married. The problem is society has made it so easy to push the blame on men. Every time we always hear that men are the problem. Men. But women are also the problem, because most of them are not ready for marriage. So they make choices based on their stomach because they are hungry. They make choices based on their situation. They know that they don't love this man, yet they marry this man just because they want the man to give them food to eat.
Are you ever going to have a city girl wedding?
Mm-mm.
You don't want to get married?
No, I don't. I tell this to people all the time because I personally feel like men are not faithful, right? And I feel like once we get married, you're giving your life to me. Mm-hmm. So my husband is not going to be allowed to go party with his friends and go, because I see a lot of married men, they be out 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
But your husband is not allowed to go outside no more. You going to be outside?
I just feel like when it gets, for me, it's people got different perspectives. So for me and my husband, how I see my life with my husband, once we get married, I want us to be settled down on vacation and we eat and breathe each other.
All day?
Not all day, but you're not going out 5 o'clock in the morning with your friends. I'm going to be with you. We going to do everything together.
But Carisha, young Miami, young Carisha, you're going to be on tour. You're going to be acting. You're not going to date somebody who ain't got nothing to do. Y'all going to be busy anyway. You know your life is never going to be normal like a married couple.
So if I get married and my husband is out 5 o'clock in the morning with his friends, I want to kill him when he get home. And if you cheat on me, I'm literally going to bury you. I cannot vomit it. You giving your life away to me. That's what you telling me. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You my person.
So it's the betrayal. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody that has a baby on you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not my man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're my husband is different.
Right.
You're not.
Because we're a partnership.
Yeah.
I do not want to get married. Don't get me wrong, marriage can be amazing for mutual support, raising kids, and creating a family. I'm not against marriage as an institution yet. For myself, I feel like a life partner is more than enough. I don't need papers or documents to prove my love or their love. It's actually even better because if we keep choosing each other after many, many years, that means the love is enough.
Now, fellas, you know there's a pattern going on, right? These women want the ceremony and the image of them getting married, but they don't want the paperwork. Now, years ago, men used to talk about that, but it was unacceptable because men wanted it. But now, women, that they're making money, that they're getting all these benefits, that they can pretty much do anything they want. All of a sudden, now they don't want to get married, all of a sudden, right? It ain't about love anymore. It's about themselves. It's a very, very funny thing. Before, women used to make you feel guilty when you wanted a prenup, or you wanted to have certain conditions when you get married, right? They always put the guilt trip on you, make you feel like that you're some type of jerk or something like that, right? Now they're talking the same way. Now that they're making money, in a lot of the cases, they're making more money than men. And that's the point. They are starting to get their own assets. They are able to travel. They're able to do whatever they want to. They can make a name for themselves. They can be famous. They can get a lot of clout. And not only that, they can mess around with a lot of men. So they like, why even get married when we can play the field? They want to act like us. They want to do whatever they want. And the advantage women have is when it comes down to the dating marketplace is they can have a lot of sex. Not all men can do that. They can play the field. They can, like, somebody go into their DMs and fly them out to all kind of places and spend all kind of money on them. They can go to clubs, get free drinks. They can sleep whatever, all the high value men they want. Then later on down the line, when all that is gone and they're hitting the wall and they can't get none of these men anymore, all of a sudden they want to get married. They want the paperwork. They want kids. I mean, they're going through all kind of stuff right now. All kind of emotions when that wall comes for them and they get pissed and angry. They make all these excuses while they're young. We can do whatever we want to. Right now in society, women have the advantage over men. You know, they can do whatever they want without the penalties like men get, right? We say the wrong thing, man, we can get canceled. Women can pretty much say and do whatever they want to, and it's very small chance that they will be penalized for it, okay? So they feeling that freedom, they feeling that self-love, which we all call selfishness. So why be burdened by a husband and have to take care of him? Why be burdened by children when I can just think about myself? When I can spend money on myself and have men spend money on me as well. So these women, it's not even about love anymore. They're showing their true colors right now. They don't really want to get married because of love. It's because of assets. It's because men are spending money on them and all these other things they claim. And then when they get divorced, which many of them do, they want to take your children away. They want to take your assets away, or at least get half of everything, right? But like I said, because everybody's struggling at the moment, women don't really see an advantage of putting on that ring. They do not want to marry a common man. They want to marry somebody that's famous, somebody that got a lot of money, somebody that can just fly them all over the world and they can do whatever they want. Even if it means they jumping from bad to bad to bad, they will continue doing this and then be happy about it. And when it all runs out, when they can no longer do it anymore, what is the first thing they do? They get on TikTok crying about where all the good men are at. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. And it's just going to get worse. And it's sad. But like I say, a lot of men are out there lonely and sad and depressed. But guess what? It's going to be more women out there lonely, sad, and depressed. Hopefully things will change, but I doubt it. Okay? All right, that's all I got to say. I really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks again. This is T, and peace.